episode is sponsored by Teamhood, a modern project management system.
Hello, everybody. Then this is on the Agile Couch. Today we have Simas, myself, and my guest, Damian. Hello, Damian.
Hi, Simas.
Nice to have you
Thank
here.
you for having me. Yeah, thank you for having me. Yeah.
Thanks for joining. And Damian is from the company called Tidio, if I pronounce it correctly.
Correct.
Yes. To my knowledge, Damian has more than 10 years of different experience as a leader and manager in different teams and setups. And right now, Damian is acting as an engineering manager in Tidio, creating strong, successful, agile teams over there. Is that correct, Damian?
Yeah, I have over 10 years of management experience, right? You can add on top of that my development experience because I was a software developer, so earlier. But yeah, but right now I work for Tidio. I am an engineering manager for over 6 months currently. And yeah, Tidio is a Polish company. We build like the state-of-the-art live chat solution for our clients. Live chat powered by our chatbots. So yeah, this is we are top of the market that we can offer. Yeah, and we try to have fun creating teams here and deliver business value, yes, to our clients. So this is what we do every day, basically.
Yeah, it seems like it's quite an interesting business perspective for the domain that you guys taking into. And I guess these days it's becoming more and more popular within the perspective of all the information systems and websites, etc. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, we help our clients grow. So by increasing sales, by delivering this great customer service and customer experience too. So this is what we do. So basically our goal is that our clients grow and yeah, we can grow with them as a company at the same time, which is beneficial for both sides, which is always that, whatever you do in life.
exactly.
Yeah.
And this is what we're talking right now with Damian is that there is a demanding business environment that Tidio is into, and something that we have discussed with Damian before. It would be interesting to talk from Damian's leadership experience, how to build these strong agile teams in such environment where lots of things are very much needed to be done as soon as possible, and as well results and outcomes are very much interested for inside the company as well, for the outside of the clients. And basically it's demanding environment, so how to build such teams. And yeah, for the perspective of my side, it feels like the strong teams it is something that everyone in every organization is reaching and trying to achieve, but somehow there are some secrets and things that are still unknown how to get that done. Lots of things and experience tried within different people, different managers, and I don't know, what's your take on it, Damian? How would you say what is a strong team for you, first of all?
Sure. I think maybe each manager can have his own answer to this question, right? But for me, strong team is the team that have this kind of a winning spirit, I am calling. I try to, compare, the work environment with sport. Basically, I was training football many years. So for me, there are many similarities. So basically winning spirit for me is that, we are here on the same bus, trying to achieve our goal, and everyone, has this goal in mind and want to grow also in the role. So, it's like we are a pro sport team at work, right? Sometimes, there are different connections between people. We don't have to like each other, but if we work together, we have to be as a team. So it's like kind of all for one, one for all approach. and this is what it means for me. So it means that people, that do take ownership, that people that focus on impact. Yes, basically, like, we can have a good output, produce output, but the question is if this output converts to good business value so the company can grow, right? So here is not only like, we do more and more, but we need to be smart here and do the right things. Yes, so the things that will properly impact the business, we try to grow. So yeah, so basically it's this, of course, to create such a winning team is not easy, right? And you want to have winners on the team. You don't want to have losers. Ultimately, you cannot have a winning team with losers in the squad. So yeah, so we could talk more and more and more about that. So
Yeah, so there's always, perspective that we're looking for on how to win the game instead of how to lose. And you touched some important things. But before we go into that perspective, what reminded me of you saying that it's important for the team not just to build some kind of output, but be interested into result and into the outcome or into the business value that the team creates. So for me, that sounds like it's like end-to-end responsibility. I mean, probably building such a team, it's important that the team as well is responsible for what they do, not only in terms of the quality, the nice and shiny product from the visual perspective, from the technical perspective. We might create nice and shiny product, but which is not used, and then who is responsibility to try it out and then to get the metrics from the customers, the feedbacks from the customers, etc. Yeah, that's
exactly. So we are lucky at Tidio because this boundary between like development and business like is not existing almost. We are very close, with business, with product managers, right? So we get input right away. We can see what an adoption of just release feature is. We can make an impact like to increase this adoption, right? We can put mark on how the even the small functionality will be designed, because team is involved in the early stages of design. So team can challenge a product manager, because usually it's like, okay, you have product manager setting priorities. Yes, because of course he is working with clients every day and we focus on delivering software, right? But still, when we have these open discussions here at Tidio, then it's like easier that even us development team can impact priorities sometimes by asking good questions and challenging what product manager comes with. Yes, so yeah, so this is like how we do it, right? And if you feel this connection, then basically I think you automatically take more ownership and and responsibility, right? And at the same time you have fun, because it's not only I am producing this code, right? But you see the result of your work and you can be proud of it if many clients are using it, and then we can see a feedback right away from these clients. So yeah, it creates kind of a good environment in which you can grow and feel good about what you do. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree, and that's what you mentioned as well. I do like that you have that in Tidio, that small gap between product management as well as the team, so that the team can actually do and make decisions based on that results and outputs from the product management. That's so nice.
Exactly. Yes.
So you mentioned just before about winners and losers, and this is something interesting and intriguing actually. Yeah, it's not a secret that there might be different type of people, and each of the person is totally different, and it all sums up into the team culture. Some are more happy to have jokes in the team. Some are less happy about that, wants to be serious. Some likes to play, I don't know, table games. Some don't do, and that creates probably some kind of I don't know, sometimes disagreement, sometimes conflicts. There are other perspectives that it could take into, but how do we identify these? Who are the winners in our team and who are the losers? How you do that within your experience?
Yeah, sure. I think all starts with each company has its mission and each company has its values, right? That they believe in and support. And I think, at first you as a human being, when you join the organization, basically you would like to join the team where your personal values matches values of the team or organization. Yes. So this is the first thing I think very important. Yeah. So how we do it, it all starts from recruitment, right? As I said earlier, you need to have the right people on the bus first. So you try to look for high performance with high competencies that are difficult to learn. There are some competencies that are easier to learn, like maybe communication or self-awareness or customer focus. You can learn these things, yes, but difficult to improve is like integrity. Are you an honest person or you're not, yes? Or analytical skills or, high energy or desire to grow. These are, skills that are difficult to learn, and you would like people to get on your bus that have the skills, So then if you have them, even if they're sometimes technical skills may be a bit lower, from my experience, it's better to hire such person, especially if you have already a strong team, then such person when join such a strong team, believe me, grows so fast. And you as a leader or manager can be just, proud of it, how fast it goes and be happy about it. So again, it's starting with recruitment, and then of course, then it's like everyday work, sometimes ups and downs with what we do. And I think what is important is engagement and building this engagement and that people are engaged. And what I call is like to create this kind of a magic environment. And magic, I'm not sure if you know this acronym. I think I read in some book in the past, but it's about creating like meaningful environment. So what I do is meaningful. Then autonomy, I stands for autonomy. So, I have autonomy, I am given trust, I can do, the best that I can do. Then of course, growth. Yes, each one of us, we want to grow in our roles. So, I can feel that I grow in this environment. Then impact. Of course, every one of us would like that our job is impactful. And connection, right? So I want to have a good connection with my peers. I want to have a good relationship with my leader, with my direct manager. So yeah, so it's about creating this, and of course it's easier said than done. But this is actually what I usually strive to do, in my everyday work. So yeah. If I can continue, it starts from me, from building good relationships with everyone, because even if you have this good relationship created, then it's always easier to work together, right? So when you build trust, and sometimes you can withdraw from this trust with some actions that maybe you don't like, yes. But if you feel that I care about you as a person and we have a good relationship, good history, then you know that it's easier for you that Damian did it probably because it's the right thing to do for the organization, right? So yeah. So sorry, I probably
No, it's all good.
For too long. Yeah. So
it's all good. I'm just curious now. So this is something you mentioned, how to build that environment. And that sounds really interesting, the model that you have just explained, or the acronym that you explained, how does it work? It all starts with recruitment, that's all fine. But I'm still sure that you've seen difficult situations within the team, and probably sometimes you feel that the energy doesn't match with a couple of people. And
true. And
what is the way forward that you took, or that you could suggest others to take?
Yeah, so it's, as they say, feedback is a breakfast of champions, right? And
oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think you as a manager, okay, I said about this building trust, but you need to have like ongoing, meetings with your direct reports. I said, every 2 weeks, or some managers do, every week or maybe every month. It depends probably also of the seniority of with whom you work, right? Some people would like to have it more often, some a bit less. So again, when I say about it, you need to be you need to observe it as a leader and need to be flexible, yes, with the approach, because each person is different. So feedback is very important, yes. So I am saying, catch people doing something right. So this is, I think, from 1 Minute Manager book, but I remembered it and it resonated with me because I also liked, when I was a developer, I was lucky to have such manager, so that something like this, I think, adds wings to people, so they grow even faster. Of course, sometimes you need to give reprimands, yes, and this happens too. And again, getting back to this good relationship you have, it's easier than to kind of tell what someone can do better, yes, or maybe you see that he was a top performer, and currently this performance is a bit bumpy. So basically, you can address this on one-on-one. Then you need to remember that this is a human being, and maybe, I have some personal problems that are affecting me currently. So there are many factors, right? But again, you need to have this people approach, yes, not like maybe boss employee approach, but more like two human beings approach that work for the same company for the same goal. So yeah, so feedback is very important. Then probably I would add also managing expectations. Yeah, so each one of us has some expectations about what we do, and also clearly and openly talk about this. Yeah, and also, as a manager, there is this sentence that always under promise and over deliver. So this is also what I think is important. Always under promise and over deliver, because then you see,
the expectations will be, yeah.
Exactly, yes. And you will be very happy, right? Because your manager gave you more than you even expected.
But probably that's something like an individual of each of the employees, I guess. I mean, and here we can go back as well a bit to the responsibility. If I promise what I think is less that I am capable of doing, then I will do more than my manager or my company expected. And probably this is ultimately what we want. We want people to sometimes promise less but deliver more. Although I personally see in lots of situations where we want as well people to risk and take the challenge. I mean, no one knows if people will be able to achieve it, but it's all about trying and as well creating ability for them to perform and grow within their role, within their experience. So it probably depends. But what you're saying is that playing with these expectations is quite important to have relationship, I guess, good relationship.
Yeah, but also actually touched also a good point here, because I think you always should expect more from people than they are able to deliver. If you look from this perspective, because actually psychology says that usually people will work up, to the way that they will deliver, and sometimes they can surprise you. You may be so much surprised, yes, with what people are capable of. Yes, so. Expect more, and even if they don't deliver, but you see it's good still, then you give a good feedback, and next time will be better. And I think it's the same at sport. You need to progress. Yes, whatever you do in sport, you need to progress, and to progress, you need to have, your kind of bar of your goals has to be higher and higher. Yes, if it's not, then there will be a stagnation. You are here, and that's it, and probably or other people are growing, and you are staying back. So yeah,
I totally agree. And in terms of setting that bar that you mentioned, I'm a huge fan of myself of coaching and actual coaching, and I had a couple of leaders by myself who been coaching me. I've been coaching some people afterwards as well, and I see that that's a huge difference once a manager comes in and asks employees, so what do you think what you will be able to achieve, or what do you want to achieve? Wow, then crazy things happens in the head, because you start to think, so what is my maximum that I can achieve? What it is that I would like to and love to achieve? How does it maps to what is needed from me? and lots of different
Sure.
minds goes through for the way you're thinking, and it actually at the end sets quite some good results instead of, you know,
Exactly.
sometimes
But
leaders.
sometimes,
Yeah.
yeah, but sometimes, you know, I think it depends also on the personality, on the person, because yeah, some people react like you say, but some people, for example, I have a big faith in their potential, but sometimes they, you know, they may answer, I don't know if I am able like to do it. So you as a leader also have to sometimes inspire these people and, you know, put this like maybe the sparkle that will start the fire, yes, inside them. And you need to push sometimes people, and then also magic things happen. Yes. So yeah, but I agree with you completely with what you said.
It's definitely so different people, different environments, different cultures. Lots of things sums up and adds into that one soup, which is in this case we're discussing a team, and we are, you know, boiling that delicious soup, and we need to do different things with different team members to help them to grow
Yeah.
and to reach their potential.
Yeah. And one more thing I just recalled about winning team, because one of my managers that I really admired, that was in the past my manager, about winning teams, he was saying like, you know, winning is not everything, it's the only thing. So so you know, it's for me in business exactly the same. You know, winning is not everything, but it's the only thing. You know, you need to shoot always, you know, and try to win, and that's it.
Because probably that's the reason everyone is working, and that's the reason why we're, you know, doing something, because we want to win. That's a very good point
Exactly.
that you take here.
Yeah.
Damian, I'm curious about your perspective on so how organization by itself can help, or sometimes even not help, be a barrier for building, you know, such a strong team. I'm sure you've been in different organizations and seen different things. For example, the things that I can share, I can remember from my experience.
Mhm.
Some organizations that I've worked in were asking people to be very cautious about their decisions and what they do, and share
Mhm.
that in advance with their leaders, so that their leaders would be able to share with their leaders, and that goes up chain, so that everyone knows what everyone is doing. Basically, low autonomy perspective. And what it brings, that people lose their trust in what they do. They always need to check with their managers. And that's definitely what we discussed probably at the beginning, not the quality of such a team. Or another perspective, sometimes an organization can fully trust in the team and give their all the power, as you mentioned, that the team is able to work with product managers closely and to take decisions to impact their own product, what they're building. What do you think
Sure.
from that perspective, from the organizational point of view?
Yeah. So I understand it as a part of trust. Yes. And I read somewhere, I don't know which book it was, but it was said that partial trust sucks. It doesn't work. So either
Okay.
you trust someone or you don't. Of course, always you trust but verify, right? So probably like maybe some checkpoints every once a month. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, right? So you share basically what we produce as a team. But yeah, every one of us, you know, we are professionals. I think we are here to do a good job. And I believe most of the people, you know, join companies to do a good job. You know, of course, there are some people that don't, but basically then you want to have a good recruitment process to not let them in, right? But
Exactly.
yeah, so such people, you know, basically they will deliver great results, and you don't need to, you know, check on them every 5 minutes, right? So because if you do, then for such people it will be disengaging, demotivating, and probably your metrics will drop. Yeah. So I think there was Steve Jobs that has this nice saying, I'm not sure if I recall, that I do not hire good people to tell them what to do, but I hire them so they tell me what we do. Yes. And I also kind of, it resonates with me, right? We hire good people just to give them trust and tools, so they can just do the good job and deliver outcomes. Yes. So again, it gets back to this employee experience thing, like we as an organization, what employee experience we create. Because I am also a believer in the law of congruent experience, which basically says that, employee will deliver customer experience that matches their own experience in the organization. Yes. So basically, our role as an organization not necessarily is focus on our customers, but focus on our employees first. Because if we do that, then our employees will deliver, top-notch customer experience. And the one boss we all have is our customer. Yes. So we need to understand the one boss we all have is our client, is our customer, because if we fail, then this customer client will fire everyone, including CEO of the company, right? Because there is no income, we can go home. So yeah, so yeah, employee experience, and again, if this expectations management is what experiences I have every day in the company, and my perceptions, because as we said earlier, every one of us is different. Different things drive us, So this is a huge role of a leader to understand each personality and manage expectations well. And sometimes, if your experience with the company may be not the one that you would like to see, then to have this relationship with manager to openly talk about it and address it. Yes, so yeah, so this is what it means basically. Yeah.
I think this is something that you mentioned previously, is a beautiful saying that employee experience does match the experience that employees creates for the customers. And
exactly.
I guess this is so important, but still
look
not everyone
look how easy it
understands.
is. Look how easy it is. Simas,
Yeah.
if you feel good in the organization, probably you will do a bit more, for it, because you have fun. You grow, you like your colleagues, you basically have good relationship with your manager, and basically you will do everything to grow, and you will do everything so the company can grow. Yes. So then exactly your experience will match the customer experience later. So yes.
That's exactly the thing I have in my head. And the other scenario that it's funny for me, and I'm now imagining. So usually companies have some on-call service support, whatever that might be. And imagining myself, I'm calling to one of the companies, and sometimes that on-call experience is quite shitty, to be honest. Sometimes it's just over the expectations. It depends on the company. And what it tells me as a customer sometimes is that if that on-call experience is not as good as I expected, is that most likely what they have inside is not so good. And most likely, if they would invite me to work with them, I wouldn't trust that they will have such a good environment. And it's like, a dominoes effect. If you ever had a connection with someone like that, and then, you'll have some attitude of yourself. So you can look at it from the other way around, not only from the inside company, but from the outside.
Correct. Would I like to work with such a guy, every day, right? With such attitude.
Exactly.
So, I never work in the customer service, but I can kind of relate it to development and recruitment, right? Usually I try to put on the front line guys that, okay, they have a high technical skills, but they have good also like a people skills. So the thing is that even, if you are a candidate and you may fail the interview, I mean, it happens, yes. We give you a good feedback. We tell you why you failed, right? What you need to improve in order to join our organization. But what I always was saying to my teams was like, please create such a recruitment process and such an experience for our candidates that they will regret that they, haven't received the offer, right? So they will say, okay, I would like to work with this guy. I could learn a lot from him. And many times history shows that such people returned to us again, applying for a job in like 6 months, and then they were successful, yes, and they joined. So yeah, so actually that's also a good point here. Yeah,
it's very much like it's very important what picture you paint with representing the company, as well as definitely it's related what you have inside, as you mentioned. Damian, from the other perspective, what do you think how leader can be actually a barrier for building such a team? I mean, what you can do the worst as a leader to not help to build strong team? If you ever think from that
Uh,
experience, what are the mistakes the leaders could do? I mean, for our listeners as well to think.
okay, here I think usually the young leaders make some mistakes here, yes, and I can recommend a book, Do Nothing, to such people. And basically the mistake, I mean, we make when we grow to like leadership or management role is that, you know, up to now I was focusing on my performance and on my like outcomes I produce as a person, and I was thinking about myself. And all of a sudden you are a leader, yes, and many leaders make this mistake that they want to work like to show that they do something and focus still too much on their own instead of the team that they kind of now are responsible for, and each individuals from this team. So I would say, you know, when you are a manager, when you are a leader, then your focus should shift right away. Like you no longer you are important, yes, because you will be judged from the perspective of how your teams are performing. Yes, it's no longer that how you perform. Or I have written these 5 lines of code. I did this task. You know, it has to change. Yes, it has to change. So I would say this is the one thing. The other thing maybe that lack of trust. Yes. So or maybe I can do better. Like not properly giving like this constructive feedback, like showing people that they can do better, but in the proper way that kind of inspire them, not like give it to me, I will do it kind of approach, because I met such situations in the past. So yeah, you know, I think it all starts with leaders. It all starts with leaders, right? So you are as good as your teams as a leader, and I think this is very important to remember.
Yeah, that's brilliant. And indeed, you're as good as your team is. And what you reminded me as well by saying how the leader can not help building such a team, probably is as well being an expert in what they do. And what comes into my head, as an example, you mentioned you've been a developer some time ago, yeah. And if you just, for example, a modeling situation, if you would become a leader in a team in which you were developer, if you still would like to be the expert in developer, I don't know, themes, topics, whatever, probably that would not help you to be a good leader, because now it's not about you. Now it's about how you help these guys to deliver the best outcomes, but not you saying what they need to do, how they work together, how they communicate, how they find out together. So not being experts,
Exactly.
that's what I hear. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I fully agree, and I understand. You know, it's sometimes maybe difficult to kind of hold on. Yes, especially if you are a Scrum team and you have this planning meeting, or you are designing a feature, and maybe you have those great ideas in your head. But when you are a leader, you basically need to hold on and wait. And of course, you can orchestrate the conversation so the best idea wins. Maybe at the end, if you really feel that this idea is not the best idea, you can kind of drop it. And what do you think about that to the team?
Yeah.
Maybe team will still reject your idea. And sometimes you need to depend on the risk. Sometimes you want the team to fail so they can learn from their mistakes. Yes, of course. If it's not like a very risky area of the product. Yes, so because okay, you have this experience, longer experience, and you have seen many things, and you know maybe that this solution will not work. But you know, my approach is not to push too hard on this, because I like when my team kind of take ownership and they drive, you know, the way they do. So yeah, so this is difficult sometimes. Also, you know, maybe look at your people's strengths, like learn your team people from the strengths they have, and try to find, you know, like new responsibilities in which they will be able to grow on their strengths, right? So maybe delegate some task that you could do, but maybe give it to some of them so they can see that they will grow. And you know, this also does many kind of good tricks. People are more engaged, you know, they feel they grow.
And they have more
Yeah,
responsibility, and that's usually what naturally people, by being humans, want to as well.
exactly.
So the time flew by quite fast, and we touched some topics and corners of how to be a good leader, how to grow such individuals, and how to create a winning team. Sometimes it's difficult due to surroundings, due to our lack of inexperience, but it's important, as you mentioned, of how do we help that team to create their own outlook, be a team. It's important for them to be responsible, have that ownership, accountability. Regarding, emotional things, I think we touched a little bit from the perspective that once hiring, we are looking for the people that would match properly the team that is already in there. Like, how did you call it? I think it was integrity or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm for those skills that are, either you are honest or you are not. You cannot
Yeah.
learn it. Yes. So you need to look for people with those skills that are difficult to improve. Yes, especially because, again, like communication, if someone is maybe introvert, cannot communicate well, I mean, we can improve that, by working together, right? Technical skills also can be improved.
Can be learned,
So
exactly, but that part you
yeah,
need to have it.
yeah, desire to grow. Yeah, I call it. So if you have desire to grow and maybe your skills are at the bottom and you join this, like very strong team, like I say, like a stars team. And also there is the saying, that stars attract stars, right? So that's why also you want to have a winning teams with the best people on board, so they can attract other people, similar people. Yes, and losers attract losers. Sorry, but they say also this. So
Sadly, but probably that has some true in the words you mentioned. And
yeah.
last but not least, Damian, I think we covered lots of different things. Probably still we didn't cover each and every point that is important. And I'm sure that there are much more things it's important. It's just impossible within our time to cover experience of yours that you had over 10 years. But thank you so much for the time that you've spent here with me today. I definitely enjoyed
Thank you.
discussing, and I would continue discussion. Maybe next time we'll meet once again.
Sure.
Have a great day ahead.
Sure.
Thanks for being
So
here.
yeah, I also would like to thank you for inviting me. It was, good experience for me. And maybe at the end, I would like to greet my colleagues from Tidio and also my colleagues from previous companies that will be watching this podcast, and of course your whole audience. And yeah, have a good day and a good weekend because it's Friday for us.
Yes.
So,
Thank you, Damian. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
thank you. Bye.